Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. So today I am going to be showing everyone a couple different types of twists. So we're getting right started into this. This is a piece of 1 inch by 1 inch angle, or 25 mil by 25 mil. And this is the type of twist that you can create with this type of angle. Now this is the first twist in this series, but you can see the aesthetic already, how that actually works. And we'll go ahead and heat it up again, clamp it in the vise. And this is one of my favorite twists, believe it or not, is made out of angle iron itself. It creates a really neat effect that I think can be used a lot in decorative ironwork. It's a little bit weirder to twist because you're working with 2 dimensions that you have to twist. And so therefore it's a little harder to work with the actual twist itself because it's kind of more of a wrap at some point. It turns from a twist to more of a wrapping kind of like motion. So it does have a tendency to distort more than what maybe a regular twist would. But as you can see, this detail here, that is a really neat looking twist in my opinion. Just like that. Like I said, super neat looking twist. So now this twist we're going to spend a little more time on. This piece that I have here is a piece of 1 inch diameter steel pipe. It's just round pipe, like a gas line pipe. You would find a standard plumbing pipe. And I'm going to take and square it up. So essentially I'm going to make a square tube out of this. Now if you're already starting a square tube cross section, this is easier. But if you're working with round, it's just as well. The trick here is you'll see me not hammering very hard at all. That's kind of the key here. We are just wanting to take and slowly square this up. We don't want to collapse the pipe. We just want to square it at this stage. So now with a blunted chisel, this is just a cold chisel that has had the sharpness removed, I'm going to aim for the center of that flat that I created, of that square, and just lightly go along, collapsing the pipe along that line, along the chisel edge. Nothing real big or revolutionary here, we're just collapsing it a little bit. Now I will say this, you'll want to make sure that you don't hit it too hard. You'll see how lightly I'm hitting this. It collapses relatively easy because if you remember, the wall thickness of that pipe is only approximately a 1/16 of an inch thick wall thickness. So it is not a lot of thickness at all. So it does not require a lot of force. Don't make the mistake of hammering too hard too fast. So on the next heat, what we're going to do is we're going to pull it out and we're going to hammer directly a full 180 degrees on the opposite end. Further squatting this pipe, collapsing it, but we're putting a groove on essentially the opposite side of the pipe, or tubing, square tubing if you will, at this point. And this is important to set up our last step, or our last stage, where we come through and we do our other 2 remaining sides. This will help reinforce those, and when you do the other 2 opposing sides now, the 2 opposing faces, it will collapse in on itself a little more and deepen up those fuller marks that you left in the pipe. So now we'll do the top and bottom side of this. So as you can see, it's very handy to be able to work with 2 hands. So if you have some sort of rack or a way of holding this and a pair of tongs, great. or you can use it between your legs like I did here. Not a difficult process. Once again, we're just trying to take and very lightly tap on this. And now hopefully you can start seeing it come together. We're going to give it a little bit of a straighten. And there you have it. So now you can see there's a groove on all sides. This is kind of giving the impression like there's 4 separate pieces here, or maybe bars. Bet you didn't know that you could twist around the pipe. This was something I learned from my instructor Wayne Apgar at Touchstone Center for Crafts when I did a little candle holder with him. In fact, this is going to be some of the steps in the process of the candle holder class that I am going to be teaching there at SOFA. If you're watching in the future, I teach classes at SOFA, Southern Ohio Forge and Anvil. I teach about 4 classes a year. This one coming up on November 11th ought to be a fun class. I think everybody will gain and glean a lot from it. But there you go. Now we got 4 equal grooves. So you want to quench the very end of the pipe from the outside. Do not dunk this into the quench tank, as it will cause chimneying. And then you want to grip it about where the square's at. Now what you're going to notice here is just a standard pair of channel locks or a plumbing wrench setup, adjustable wrench plumbing wrench setup like what I have here, won't really grip this very well. And so I could only get it barely turned at this point for the camera because the plumbing wrench wanted to slip off. So I'm going to show you the fix of that here in this next little clip that's coming up. But as you can see, now we're starting our twist. Doesn't look like much just yet, but it will. So you can see here on the back side of the vise, I have a pipe wrench. I cooled off the end again so I can grip it firmly in the vise. And now I'm going to take and use my pipe wrench to grip on the piece that's non-heated, and I can get a lot more torque and force now to twist that pipe. And just like that, that's how you put a twist in a pipe. Twists can be a very fun thing to add to your ironwork, both for aesthetics and skill level. I like adding twists to all sorts of things just to kind of get people to think outside the box. And I really enjoy when you're at a show and you show people twisting. It's always a crowd favorite. And I always love seeing people have that magic in their eyes, like, wow, look at him, he's bending that metal around like it's nothing. Of course, us as blacksmiths, we understand the dynamics of that and that it's really not that difficult to do. But it's always nice to do in front of a group of Boy Scouts or something of the like. So there's the final result. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and maybe you think about subscribing. God bless you all, and like I always say, we'll catch you on the next one.